are going to offer intraday opportunity. All right, so it looks like we are all set. So good morning to everyone on YouTube. Let's go ahead and kick things off and start off by saying that happy Monday. My name is Jared. This is Engineering the Markets, and it is September 20th, 2021. So quick recap from last week. We went into Thursday's session with the idea that the market was not really proving a lot of relative strength at an area that we expected a reaction. The idea here being most of our pullbacks in the market have occurred at a nuanced moving average level, the approximate 50-day simple moving average on the S&P. Give me 1 second as my pen loads. So we were looking for this area and expecting some sign of strength in the form of a daily setup, or essentially to start to clear something that was forming as resistance. Market was starting to push against an area, approximately the 20-day on this chart. And when we look at the nuance here, we can see that the market was starting to set basically a horizontal resistance as we had multiple intraday ranges form balance. So the market was oscillating between this area, and what we were simply looking for is the bulls to defend the recent lows, to come to the moving average, and ultimately to reject downside. Now, as we were coming into a triple witching or a quad witching, depending on which one you define it as, we also noticed that during this time, there was going to be an additional bit of volatility. Market makers were likely going to shake out call buyers and put buyers, essentially trying to invalidate those positions near expiration and also roll risk into future series in the option chain. So we expected some oscillation on Friday. We expected additional volatility, but what we got was a market in a very clear selling pattern. Not only did we breach previous lows, but the market was willing to close at or near those lows. And when we look at that context in the SPX, that comes back into this 447 to 448 region acting as resistance, and then the 44, I will call it about 443 in the SPX closing week on Friday's session. Now, this area is a bit nuanced on the SPX versus the SPY. It's a little bit clearer in the SPY, but this represented a previous balance zone back in time. And it's an area that the market has respected and reacted against for quite a while. The loss of this area has resulted in our larger gap down this morning. And we are coming back into a new area of support, this roughly 4370 area, which I've gone ahead and marked on the SPX. So as we open today and as we start to see, are we going to get a little bit of short covering, or is the market ready to sell even harder and get more volatile throughout these support zones? We want to start off with just our normal expected move on the market. So I've gone ahead and drawn that out, as last week we noted that the expected move was a pretty poor representation of volatility. Market was pricing in about a 115-point movement throughout the week, coming off of a 4-day week that was notable because the previous week was only 50 points. Market gave all of those points and then some. And then in a full week with expanded volatility, we saw a reduction in the overall price movement. So while the market did sell off last week, and while we did have a lot of weakness throughout, coming into this week, we're looking at a reduction in the expected move compared to last week. essentially the market did get the, I guess, the potential for movement very wrong last week. And even though the VIX is elevated and we're seeing volatility climb this morning, the expected move has dropped. So I've gone ahead and marked these based on last week's close. And ultimately, this is about a 95-point expected move, which brings us to approximately the same expected move range low, about 43.38 to 43.40, and then a slightly lower expected move range high, about 45.28. So shifting over to the SPY. And now that we are in this index ETF versus the index itself, we can see what's occurring this morning. We can see our pre-market. Now, it is notable that so far in the pre-market, we are trending. There's no semblance of support formed yet. The buyers keep getting rejected, and we're seeing all of these pullbacks be sold into. It's also notable that as we look at our daily, we draw out that same support structure that we drew on the SPX. The idea here is that we've had multiple reactions at this level, and we've yet to test this level in quite a while, albeit our last major pullback roughly to the 50 did confirm support at this area. This was our last pullback, and we knew about this area on previous drawdowns against the larger trend. So this roughly 436 to 437, depending on how it's drawn, I'll call it 436 in the SPY, marks off a little bit more cleanly. This area right now is starting to become breached. And what we're looking at is the potential for additional downside if buyers cannot step in and form a relative area of support in the next couple of, let's say, hours in the market. We're also seeing the heightened bear volatility. So we know this selling is a bit different. We noted how last week, all of our major pullbacks against this larger trend had one specific thing in common. As we were starting to pull back, there was a day where the market often gapped down after a previous weak session. So we often had sort of an oversold condition, and those oversold conditions brought us to the 50, along with in the next session or two, seeing a strong bullish reaction against that gap down, basically a lack of follow through after weakness. That set the stage for a lot of trend structure and basically higher highs and higher lows on each of these pullbacks. But we needed to see confirmation. We needed to see either that oversold condition or for the bulls to set up some sort of reversal structure near these areas. And so far, of course, we have not. So moving forward, we can start to think about some scenarios in the market. As we see this pullback, we want to note that this area is very important for the market to hold. Just because we are starting to sell through it this morning does not mean we have lost this area completely. Bulls can step in this morning, push this market through this area, sort of retest it from above and then hold. And on the daily, that would look like some sort of pin bar or just a failed breakdown through a support after a fairly large sell-off from the highs. Now, if that does form, we have a couple of scenario potentials to basically think about. The idea here is that we've already tested this area against the larger trend. We've extended beyond it. And as we're coming back into it, we form the potential for what most people think of as a head and shoulders. The idea here is that if this does form, we would like to see the final part of that structure confirm in the form of our final shoulder. Now, when it comes to that formation, we also want to think about how high can it go. If the market is to bounce today, and if it is to come off this area, what are some targets? If you want to be bullish, essentially, what should your, I would say, potential look like, not necessarily targeting all-time highs because that's too far away. The setup has not given you the criteria to target all-time highs simply because we have drawn down against the larger trend and we have broken this pattern of testing the 50-day and reacting. So as we draw down, some potential areas would be this previous resistance, this balance zone that the market gave us last week, where we were having a lot of trouble breaching above. The nuance of that can be seen on shorter time frames, something like a 1 hour or the like. You will see a lot of these pushes into this area were rejected. Something like this right here shows the nuance of that zone. And if the market is to respond off of this low, then that could be an upside target for something like a multi-day, couple of day sort of bounce recovery in the overall S&P. Another potential idea would be, if we see that reaction, let's look at the previous swing high off of the first, I would say, establishment of this zone of demand. And that would bring us to approximately the 447 to 448, very close to that resistance, but actually a gravity point in the overall S&P futures. If you've noticed that the market is actually drawn to about 4411 in ES, it acts as an inventory sort of, I would say, establishment zone, a volume node, if you will. And markets are often drawn to these nodes during larger corrections or just ultimately trying to reestablish value at these areas. So markets will often check back at these zones to make sure that if it's no longer value, we reject it appropriately and complete the auction at this area. So this is where we are in the markets. We know that there is a lot of weakness in larger tech. We talked extensively about the larger pullback in Apple. And the idea here is that the downside potential in Apple can be represented well on the weekly chart. The idea that Apple was at a previous resistance. This is structurally a type of channel, albeit it is a bit not parallel. It's ultimately starting to compress throughout time. And the weekly downside here is that if the market does correct further, Apple has potential back to the 50 on the weekly as a minimum for the structure. We noted that last week, Microsoft was in a position of strength, testing all-time highs. But as we saw with quad witching, there is a propensity for the market to be drawn to larger strike prices or larger strike open interest nodes in the option market. Microsoft had a notable large volume node at about 300. And while it was a stock that was setting up well on its daily, looking for maybe a breakout of previous highs, the open interest drawdown and the effects of quad witching led to a pullback to approximately the 300 price level. So this is another stock to consider, as we are not in the same weak position in Microsoft overall, but the larger market weakness can often lead to all stocks correlating, and ultimately Microsoft is starting to sell throughout the 300 level this morning. As we shift into the NASDAQ, the idea here is roughly the same. NASDAQ was showing relative strength. We just lost the 20 on, or we just broke the 20 on last Friday's session. The idea was that the NASDAQ was actually holding quite well in this balance zone, very similar to the SPY in regards to 448 and roughly 443, I believe. But as we saw, Friday had some weakness. We're seeing bear volume coming to break us out of this balance zone. And if we look at pre-market, we're simply seeing a correlated market here. Pretty much everything is in the same direction. We're seeing relative weakness across the board. And ultimately, if the market is to bounce today, we can look for the same thesis ideas, albeit in a different index. The SPY has failed to do what it often does and reacted to 50. Now, can we see the NASDAQ do it? The idea is that the larger context of the NASDAQ is still very similar to Apple in a channel, which means our downside potential in this channel is much larger than what we're seeing on the daily. But shorter term, there can be reactions against this resistance zone, the NASDAQ. And as it's been a very strong index, we'd like to see the NASDAQ once again maybe lead on the bounce. So keep all these ideas in mind today as we're looking for any bullish confirmation. But of course, the dominant thesis right now is that we are selling through support zones. Now, amidst all this weakness, there is a little bit of bullish strength, a little bit of an odd man out. And as it's been the commonplace odd man out for the past year or so, we're going to be looking at the IWM. Now, throughout last Friday, and throughout all of the rolling of risk into following weeks, IWM actually closed a bit positive. Not outstanding, of course, but we are seeing a bit of divergence here. Now, what's happening in pre-market invalidates that, of course. We're seeing the correlation appear throughout the market, and that means we need to be a little bit careful timing any long entries. The correlation here is very strong, and therefore we may see a bit of capitulation before the market can have a significant bounce. The idea is that we're doing a lot of flushing of maybe a lot of over leverage in the market. That margin effect can have a lot of downside potential before we see a higher volume capitulation event leading to larger bounces. And ultimately, if the market's correlated to the downside, we may also see a correlation bounce to the upside with a lot of stocks trading higher once we get that low. But within the IWM, let's see if this data remains from last Friday. You can see that it was a bit of a mixed bag, pockets of strength throughout this index. One thing to note is that we had some healthcare names showing up quite strong, some of them gaining upwards of 5% or more. And we also had some names that are common day trading names starting to show some bullish activity. The likes of Space seeing a very strong trend day to the upside in a very weak overall market. Contextually, if you look at the weekly, what this can look like, as I remove maybe some of these lines, we have the idea that Space has been selling off for a while. Large volume extension bar, range, breakdown of range as we extend to try and test the resistance zone, basically where the market bounced after selling, another large volume extension bar. Now we have our low end range, which has already been tested to the downside and failed to have any downside follow through. It gives you an idea, if you're looking at these setups, as to what the potential is in the short term. You want to be thinking that if the market cannot break a range to the downside, the opposite effect often takes place. If we cannot move lower, then we often come to retest the highs that we came from, usually the reactionary highs after a sell-off or the buying climax highs after a large move to the upside. PLTR, very similar, but already completing its weekly range. You can see what this looks like on the weekly as we move these lines down. PLTR has already confirmed that this large area, which was set after massive selling, has a failure to expand lower. So as the market transitioned back to retest this zone, we found rejection once again. We retested, but not following through in the same fashion as before. And now we're getting the possibility of weekly breakouts. So in the larger context here, PLTR has already showed a lot of accumulation in this zone. Market has simply spent enough time here and it may be ready to move. You can see the volume is very different on this movement. And ultimately, as we are starting to realign the moving averages, this market can trend, which means that if we get weakness in the overall market, something like we're seeing today, this can provide pullback opportunities. So if you're looking at stocks that are bullish against a weaker overall market, there is a few standouts that are starting to form. We also saw things like Plug, very strong Friday trend day to the upside, and Fuel Cell coming off of earnings, bit of a volatile earnings session overall, but actually starting to pick back up once again, seeing that relative strength on Friday's session. So as we enter today, and as we know some areas to watch, we're simply waiting to see if the market's going to give us any signal for anything beyond the selling pressure that we're currently getting. As we start to fall, and you can see that the selling is starting to get more and more intense, we're starting to get the feeling of a waterfall, market can't find a bottom. There will be often a point when the volume climax of capitulation occurs, and that can provide, at the very least, some intraday opportunities, along with seeing some correlated stocks start to recover around the same time, basically setting the low for today, assuming that we do set the low today at all. The idea here is that we're looking for this signal. We're not necessarily seeing it, or nor can we expect it to occur today. Market could very easily sell off or just sort of range trade, as we have sold off quite a bit since the past week. So these are all things to watch and consider. And as we start to wrap up things, I'll just bring up the weekly on the SPY and note that it has been a while since we have tested the 20 period on the weekly. As we are coming through this notable potential support zone, so far we still need to open and maybe even close with some sort of false breakdown against the 20. This is context that we can apply to this pullback and often look to previous pullbacks to see what is the downside risk. We know that on larger corrections in the market, we move away from the 20, we get a bit extended, and ultimately our drawdowns are managed around this area, the likes of which we haven't seen since pre-election in the S&P. Similar pullbacks, of course, getting close to this area as well. So the market truly is going to be weak throughout the rest of the week. I would say bearish throughout the rest of the week. There will often be larger than average pullbacks to set up new rounds of bears entering the market. These pullbacks, from a bullish perspective, can provide those buying opportunities, but you need to know where to look for them, and ultimately you need the right signals. You need the right volume structure and the right market conditions in terms of what stocks are bouncing and are they large enough market caps to move the market higher. Additionally, we can start to look at volume profile and just note that, of course, we are extended throughout the entirety of the past couple of years in regards to where the market has come from. We are beyond extension from a volume profile perspective on the weekly. But something like a daily shows us that as we move through this area and as we potentially collapse through a pocket of volume in the overall market, we are coming back to potentially test VPOP. Imagine the idea of the market simply coming to the volume point of control inside of the daily chart, and that pullback, at least currently, looks like a pullback to about 417. So always be thinking about your bullish case, your bearish case, and when it comes to the bearish case in particular, given how bullish we've been, think about risk. How do you mitigate risk if you are wrong on a long position? Are you using volatility to hedge your position? Note that the VIX not only has gapped up, but it has continued throughout this morning session. We are seeing no, I would say, response and volatility that we are starting to bottom. Larger context here, we're starting to breach our trend line. This is starting to form the idea that this pullback may have some strength to it. And we saw early signals last week, differences in the pullback. The fact that this wasn't just oversold into a correlated bounce, but the idea that certain stocks are at resistance and their downside is baked in to their chart. And additionally, some of the headline risks that we are now seeing. Last week, we talked about Evergrande, the idea that one of the largest China real estate developers is starting to look at bankruptcy or potentially defaulting on some of their loans. So, depending on how that situation forms, along with all of the other risk factors in the market, the bond market, of course, being one of the more notable correlated aspects of the S&P, the dollar, which had a very strong push last week, last 2 days of last week, and is actually breaching back above previous resistance. These are all risk factors that are starting to form. Trying to find a long in this market is going to require certain things to calm back down, basically to capitulate to the upside. And whether or not we see that today or in the next couple days is going to be for us to determine. So, as always, trade safe. Let the market tell you which way it wants to go, and ultimately let this market mature as we have new information, new support zones to consider, and ultimately markets can flush much lower than most people expect. So those capitulation events are going to require a lot of things coming together around the same time. So let's go into the market today prepared for this and ultimately try and find those opportunities both long and short. So see y'all tomorrow and trade safe. We'll talk more then.
Let's get those turned on here. Uh, there we go. All right, just want to do a quick mic check. Make sure you guys can hear me okay. Good morning,
You're
Norm.
good, brother. Hey, good
Okay,
morning, buddy. How you doing?
excellent. All right, guys, as I was saying, good morning, everyone. Hope everyone had an amazing weekend. Hope you're having an amazing morning as we get started on another week of trading, which already starting to be an exciting one as we see our gappers list this morning tilted to heavily to one side as the SPY is down quite a bit, dragging a whole bunch of stuff in the red this morning. These days, guys, no, we've been through so many of these.
I
Are
hate these days.
they're difficult.
They're
It's
tough.
Yeah, they're not easy to trade. You would think, hey, this could be great, but when you have all of this, it's harder to find stuff that's really in play. That's one. The market's kind of taken over, the trend of a lot of these tickers, and then you get to a point where some of them are just too extended that they just don't give you good opportunities. So we'll see. Again,
Mhm.
can we be completely wrong? We might find something, but I like days where you just have the market doing its own thing, and you have a couple of tickers that decide they want to be in play is usually the better option. On a day like today, comes down to you watching the right stock at the right time. The one that's actually going to do something nice. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll get into it definitely. Before we do that, guys, let's check over on our market pulse, see what's going on today. Jared covered a lot of this downside that we're seeing this morning. So great job to Jared, guys. Make sure we give this gentleman a thumbs up over on YouTube. It helps us a whole lot when we hit that little thumbs up button. So, Norm, what we got going on for today and this week?
Yeah, so I mean, Jared went over this. I'm not going to rehash it too much, but the Evergrande deal in China, that potential default, they have a holiday today, so their deadline for payment on a debt was today, but it's actually tomorrow because of the holiday. So that's what's doing a lot of this in the market. We'll see. I mean, we're got a lot of levels. We've broken the 50 on the daily. We're at some areas right around 20 or near it on the weekly chart. See how that goes. We've got some inflation expectations coming out later today, and then federal budget too, which is nothing really. But yeah, so people ask when the market gets going. It's generally about now, after the summer, and we'll see what direction we take. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Starting to
Like you said, I
see
mean, I
some.
hate these big down when we're
Yeah.
down 1.5% or more on the SPY, and it's not so much on the up days. I don't really have as big of a problem with those, even though it could be extended by the same amount to the opposite way. For whatever reason, psychological, I don't know. I've talked to a lot of people about this. I hate these big red days starting off.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So.
Yep, I'm with you there, my friend. Guys, let's take a look at a few of these. The only one in the green is SDC this morning. They are up 6%, as high as $8.20 looks like is the high of the pre-market, giving some back this morning. We've seen this on our list quite a bit in the past. Again, I have not really traded this one. Usually, there's something a little bit better for me to look at than to keep this one on deck. This morning is the only one that's green, so it might be worth looking at it. And it's a meme stock as well, Norm, this one, or no?
Yeah, memeing.
Yeah. All right, we'll see. 7.6 million shares traded, guys. That's a whole lot of volume there. We want to keep an eye on this one. All right, let's see what's capping down, guys. We're not going to go through a lot of this stuff here. It's just way too much. We'll do the top 5, see if there's anything special going on there.
Yeah,
for the
if you
most
guys
part,
have anything with a catalyst outside of the
Yes.
macro that's been discussed, I mean, there's a ton of commodity stocks on here. Obviously, China stocks, alternative energy kind of plays, whether it's EVs or actual alternative energy. If you see something that has a specific great catalyst, has volume, and is actually gapping, shoot it out there. It makes it a lot easier. We've done this before. It's better than going through the list one by one of things with no catalyst and just being bored of it. So.
Yep, absolutely, guys. We'll do the top 5 as we guys put that list together on your end. We'll start with our chat room in a second here. BYSI is down 16%. Again, this chart, this daily doesn't look great, guys. Very choppy, so I wouldn't have this on my list. I don't like anything I'm seeing here. The volume is extremely light. Low float, sitting almost very close to 20 million shares float there.
It's a low float, got a high short float. They actually had some drug news. It's a biotech that had some phase 3 news that came out this morning. The headline sounds good, but apparently it's not because they're getting slaughtered. So
yeah, but they're definitely not doing well.
If you're leading the gap down list on a day like this, it's no bueno.
Agreed. Here's HUT, guys. This one looks a little bit interesting. We got a little bit of a nice drop here this morning. We're losing this area support over at 9. I like the pre-market action there. That looks decent. Yeah, I think it's worth adding this one. See where we go from there. Do we have shares for short? Let me check. Yes, we do. Here's Mara. So we got a lot of the Bitcoin stuff here. Mara, Riot, BTU sounds like a Bitcoin stock. Ticker BTU, BTB. Again, just a ton. So we look at Mara and Riot. You can pick the best one you like. Mara looks good right now, guys. Down 10% this morning. Let's take a look at Riot. This one is down 7%. Yeah, they both are great. I'm gonna keep Mara on deck. you can pick whichever one you like there. Then heading down, we have any. We saw this trade very crazy a couple of weeks back. Just got to be careful with this one. I don't think it's a low flow stock, but it definitely moves like one. At least it did a couple of days here that we saw some crazy pops out of it with some good volume. So just be careful on this one. They're down 8.1 this morning. Pre-market actions getting a little bit better after 7:45 or so. Still not great. I'm going to keep it off my list for now. And we'll do one more BTU because I want to get to what you guys have, because you probably have had the chance to go through some of this and see if there's anything, as Norm mentioned, that has a nice little catalyst. Is BTU is this no, it's an energy. It's an energy company. Okay. Yep. So it's not a Bitcoin. All right. Normally these stocks don't trade very well, guys. As you know, there's news today on all this, so they're down 9.5. Be worth having as a possible. I like the drop here in the last couple of days, man. Just dropping good. I'm just concerned it might not be a good intraday trading stock. They usually are not. We'll throw it on here. We'll see what comes up with that. Norm, we'll stop here. Anything you like on your end that you kind of have your finger on?
Like we said, let's go to the room. I know a few people are MF Jones, which I'm guessing is standing for Morning Farmer Jones, has pointed out EDSA.
Oh, let's type in the spot. EDSA. All right, see what we got going on. All right, EDSA. This one is up 50%, 5.6 million shares traded. So definitely going in the opposite direction and with some nice, interesting volume. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. So. 8.4 million shares flow on this one. And it looks in play, guys, right now. Looks very good. Actions just started to get going here at 8 a.m. So we'll definitely add it on here. I think this ticker sounds familiar, ADSA. I might believe might have looked at it recently. No, maybe not, because I don't see any crazy spikes here. So no, not this one. Confusing it with something else. All right, let's continue here. Let's look in our chat room. We'll start with Ubuntu Trader. Ubuntu Trader, if I'm saying that correctly. Start with AMC here. AMC this morning, they are down 7.2. Ubuntu. Okay,
yep, I think so.
Cool. Been with us for a year, man. Good for you. Here's AMC looking good right now, guys. Down 7.2. Great volume. 2 million shares traded. We do have shares for sure. AMC is nice. We'll add this on to the list here. I like what I'm seeing there. So good one there. mRNA volume is good, but no boost vaccination. mRNA volume, volume is okay. I won't say good. It's okay. 233. I mean, we've seen much higher when they are really in play on days like this, right? When they take huge spikes. My issue with mRNA is that it can be a little sloppy at times. Right now, they're down 3%. I don't see anything that I love on it at the moment. Possible for now, guys. Might not stay there. Heading down. What do we see? Okay, here we go. What else do we have, guys? PLTR. Let's take a look there. PLTR this morning, they are down 5%. Good volume, 1.6 million shares traded this morning. So that's looking very good there. Harry, thank you so much for the super chat. It's probably the most excitement we're going to have on the list so far. But thank you, man. Appreciate it. Let's start the May super chats to the moon. Guys, as you guys know, every super chat is being matched dollar by Andrew. This month is to cure children cancer. So that's what we're going for this month. So thank you very much for that, Harry, with the continued support every day, every market day, you're giving us that donation. So appreciate that very much. Going back to PLTR, guys, this looks very good. We are down 5% right now, 1.6. Yeah, I like PLTR this morning. I know they can be on the choppier side at times, but this morning they're looking pretty decent. Okay, heading down. PFE has good news today. What's their news? Well, what's going on with them? PFE.
Well, it's vaccine stuff, but I don't know that it's. I mean, first of all, PFE sucks. It's
horrible
like
trading stock.
Worst. It's one of the worst ones to trade. I don't know that any of this vaccine news that's come out over the last few days, whether it be the FDA panel voting against boosters for everybody, or they came out this morning talking about safe and younger kids. I don't know that that's going to do anything. I got to tell you, it's.
Yeah. Not looking so good right now, guys. We'll keep that one off the list for now. PLTR, we haven't decked. That actually looks pretty good this morning, guys. Great volume. So that is on there. Zevo. Let's see here. Zebo, I'm assuming a low flow stock. Let's take a look here. Zebo this morning, they are 6.1 million shares flow at the moment. They are, yeah, they're very active right now. 7 million shares traded, up 106%. Let's add Zebo to the list here, guys. We'll dissect that in a bit.
Happy if you owned it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Here's Ford. Ford this morning, they're down 3.8. Again, I don't. Ford is one of these tougher trading stocks. I think we could find something better this morning. I know it's not looking all that great right now, but yeah, I think we'll find something better than Ford. Let's take a look at Tesla. Today, Tesla looks good. It's a nice drop for them, 3.7, 705. With some good volume today. Yeah, Tesla is worth taking a look at. I'm going to put it as a secondary here for now. We might move that up. There might be some stuff we might take off.
Elon. Did you see Elon trolling the president?
Well, what did he do? What did he do?
Just look it up when you get off.
I will definitely look it up. CRVS this morning, 8 million shares traded so far. Yeah, it's got some good volume here. Had a nice day on Friday. Something about it though, I don't know. It doesn't seem as fluid as, and here's why. Right here, this candle here at 1.3. These candles are very heavy, so you got a huge order being dropped there. But if you look at this one, right, and let's check the flow as well. CRVS, the flow is a little bit higher. That could be part of it. But if you look at like a Zebo, you see how nicer this is moving. See, it's just a little bit more alive. EDSA, same situation. I don't know, something about that one is a little bit stale. I don't know what it is, but we'll put it on here. We'll come back to that and we'll see how it looks a little bit later. CRVS, we'll throw that on there and come back to that. All right, what else we have, guys? LSIT. This was hot last week, guys. Good opportunities happening on this one. This morning, they are giving some back. Down 5.7, 1.4 million shares traded. Great pre-market action. We do have shares for short. I don't remember this being a low flow, but I know it can move very aggressively. We traded this on Friday or Thursday, I forget. But yeah, it's a huge flow actually. But it moves better than 528 million shares flow. It moves a lot more than that. So yeah, I like this one. We'll add it onto the list. Thank you guys. Heading on down, what do we see here? PFE, no good there. UV, the VIX, right? Yeah, you could look at the VIX today. You could look at that one. NEO, I usually don't add those ETFs on there, but you know, we look at the SPY, we looking at
definitely going to be active. I can tell you that.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. Here's NEO this morning. NEO down as well. I like the volume on NEO. I'm gonna put it as a possible. I like that there. Let's take a look. IRNT. This was crazy last week. I don't think it's really in play. Doesn't have a whole lot of volume, guys, so I'll keep it off my list for now. We need to get a little bit more action. But last week we had a lot of fun with this one here. Heading on down, AMD. What is AMD up to this morning? I don't. You know what? They got higher volume, 613. I don't know if they're really in play. They're down 3%. What's Apple doing?
I'll likely, Apple's down too. I'll likely walk away this morning because, like I said, these 2-ish% gaps, yeah, especially down, I hate. But that having been said, if I am gonna look for something, I'll probably focus on one of these AMDs, Apples as a bit of a market proxy that's got volatility, but it's not overwhelming volatility.
Right.
And I'll definitely be patient, sit back, sit on my hands, see what the market's going to do. You know, it's possible. We've seen it when we have these big gaps that it's essentially not panic. Somebody's been waiting for this. The Evergrande stuff has been all over the news, so it's not like it's something new.
Right.
I've had neighbors asking about it that have no idea. I mean, that some that do have, you know, pay attention to the financial markets and trade, but some that have no idea about it, and they're like, "What's this?" You know, they ask me what that. When you get people that are teachers or realtors asking about financial stuff like that, you know it's out there. So it's in a shock, I don't think, to anybody.
Absolutely. Apple looks good this morning, guys. I agree with you, Norma, about watching this one. So definitely gonna keep this one on deck as well. Okay, heading down, Apple we have on deck. Good morning, not GM, right? Good morning to you. Heading down, EDSA, some IB short. Yeah, we do have EDSA as well, right? Where is it? I thought we added that one. Didn't we add the EDSA? Or we talked about it? Yeah.
Oh, I know we talked about it.
Here it is.
Did you put it way down there? There you go. It's on your low float.
There it is. We do have shares for sure on this one as well, guys. Okay, guys, this is what we have so far. Again, I think today's going to be one of those days. Norm said it best. You got to be very, very patient. Let's go over on YouTube and see what we have there. Starting with SDC, we do have on deck. If it's already on here, guys, we're going to go through it in a little bit more detail. So don't throw it back out. But we'll definitely look at these here, at least for a second time, as we fine tune that list. Bank of America. Let's take a look there. Bank of America right now, they're down 3.1, higher than usual volume, right? These stocks normally, these banking stocks don't do a whole lot. WFC also got a little bit of movement. BAC looks slightly better as far as volume. I would like to watch one of these banking stocks, see what the effect today has on them. I'm going to put Bank of America there just to see where this thing goes. Fubo is jumping. Fubo is jumping. Not so high for me though. It's not jumping that high. It looks a little bit light on the volume at the moment, so we'll keep that one off for now. Apple, we do have, guys, PLTR today. Yes, we do have PLTR, is because I know that one looked good. There it is, PLTR 1.7. That looks nice today. A nice pre-market action with the drop that we're getting. Oxy this morning. Let's take a look at Oxy here. And no, I don't think Oxy is really in play. I mean, it's down 4.8 right now. I don't think it's a whole lot going on there at the moment. HLBZ from Securia, HLBZ. No, this is definitely not in play, guys. Be careful with stuff like this too. We had this last week, I think. We looked at this last week, right?
That's
Look at
30.
the
You got a 2% spread. That's a 30 cent spread on a $15 stock, which is 2%, which I'm saying the stock has got to move 2% for you to even break even.
Yeah.
It's got no order flow, no volume. On a morning like this, anything that's got less than 100,000 shares is essentially not moving.
Yeah.
So,
and I'll tell you the truth, man. This can have 300,000 shares now. I wouldn't touch it. It's just ugly all around. Yeah. So yeah, stay away from that one. Be big. I know this one's been active. Seems like the last month or so. I don't like trading. I stay away from this one, man. At all costs. I just don't like the way the price action is funky for me. I just don't like it. Volume is there. It is down.
Better than the last. I mean, it's tradable. I'll give you that. I was actually, when I said, oh, no, I was talking about they're turning that into a meme for you, because that's what you say when you see something you really don't like.
Guys, I agree. That HLBZ is a oh no. Oh yeah. You don't want to be trading that one. This one here, guys, activity is good. Again, me personally, I just don't like the way it trades. Now, I've seen some guys in the community and girls do very good on this. So if you like this one, put it on there. It's losing a level here on the daily, so I do like that. But it's just something about this stock. I can't read the price action good on it. I don't know if it's just a lower price or what. But if you look at the pre-market action, you do get some good activity, 1.6. So if you like this one, throw it on your list. Yep, VIX, we talked about a little bit. Patrick, you're giving us Yang here. No, this is not good. I mean, you can see here how choppy this is right now. It looks foreign. Well, the name probably might give it off, Yang there, but it looks very, very foreign and very choppy and no volume. So this is something you want to stay away from. Also, sitting on the American Stock Exchange, those stocks trade a little bit different. You know, they're like the middle child of the stock market here. So be careful with stuff sitting on that exchange. I could rarely count or even think of a time we traded something in the American Stock Exchange that was worth it. So just be careful with that. All right, guys, let's stop here. We're going to go over to announcements, kind of give you a rundown of what's going on for today and this week. And then we'll have a special Dr. Katz Mindfulness Monday today. And then we'll head over to chopping this list up so we can find that it might be worth watching this morning.
All right, quick weekly rundown since it's Monday. I'm sure we will get plenty of Brian this week. His normal scheduled swing trade time is 2:30 on Monday afternoons. All these are Eastern, of course, but with the markets as volatile as they possibly will be this week, probably get an overdose of Brian, which isn't a bad thing, unlike most overdoses. Anyway, tonight's onboarding class live with Carlos at 8. Then you got technology with Kyle immediately after at 9. Tuesday and Thursday, you've got trade reviews with Eamon in the classroom. That is at noon. And then success webinars, 8 p.m. on Tuesdays. You've got a great one this week. You've got a huge lineup this week. Success webinars, 8 p.m. Tuesday. Psychology, 8 p.m. Wednesday. Thursday is mentoring day with Andrew at 11 a.m. and Thor at 8 p.m. And then crypto mentorship on Friday at 11 a.m. with Jared. All right. As I was mentioning, great week for webinars. Andrew's going to be breaking down Brian's trade book trade, his notorious 920. So that'll be tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Then Wednesday night, Dr. Town Hall. My goodness. I just got to pause for a second, take a break, and think.
Reset.
I am melting down. Wow. I guess I'm beklimped from this conversation I'm about to have with Dr. Katz. All right. Wednesday night, 8 p.m., you've got Dr. Katz doing his final town hall with us. That's going to be with Andrew. And then next week, psychology, you've got Mike doing his module 4, which is mindfulness during trading. As we've mentioned, all that super chat revenue and the donations on the site are going to cure childhood cancer this month, matched dollar for dollar by Andrew. The kids sincerely appreciate all those super chats and donations. If you want to participate in the member trade of the day, trade of the week, take a screenshot of your best trade with entries and exits. Add as much commentary as you can to describe the trade. We've noticed that commentary has been getting lighter and lighter. So be sure to describe it as best you can. Tag at Bearable Traders, at Mike B_BBT, and at NormBBT. Also use the hashtags BBT Family. Day trading and stock market. We'll announce the winner each afternoon for trade of the day. And all those trades of the day are eligible for trade of the week, which is voted on by the team over the weekend and announced on Twitter and in the room on Monday. And if you're watching on YouTube, sincerely appreciate you hitting that thumbs up, subscribing, and hitting that notification bell. It really, really helps out our channel. And if you're interested in trying out the chat room, you can go to bearabletraders.com, scroll down until you see that test drive button, click that, use the promo code premarket24 when you check out. It'll get you a discount. You are charged once. It cancels after 7 days or 7 calendar days or 5 trading days. And it doesn't auto renew or anything like that. It will not charge you again unless you actively go choose another membership category. Dr. Katz, there he is.
Norm, how are you this morning?
I'm good. How are you? Your volume is a little light. I don't know if that's something on Carlos's end. Carlos,
Let me see.
I don't know that there's anything you... Go ahead and talk for a second.
Let me see. I'm up. Is that okay?
Yep, perfect. There you go. I think it was maybe Carlos. All right.
Okay.
Dr. Katz, we have been doing this for a while now. This is your last Mindful Monday. So I'm just going to let you take it away and let you say what you want to say to the community.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that, Norm. Yeah, this is a kind of a bittersweet day for me, my last Mindful Monday. I think in speaking to everybody, I guess the first thing that I want to say to everybody is, really a thanks to not only to Andrew, clearly to Norm, you and Carlos have been just wonderful in this process. Mike B, Peter, and the entire BBT community has really been wonderful to work with, have embraced this process, the town halls, the Monday presentations. So a big thanks to go out with that. In terms of the things I would just like to kind of pass along and perhaps leave the community with this morning, is probably maybe from an age perspective, the senior, if not close to the senior member of the BBT community and team. There's not a lot of great things about growing older, but 2 of them that I like to think are positive are the fact that you gain a tremendous amount of experience and hopefully a sense of wisdom that you acquire over the years. And in that, I wanted to leave the BBT community with, a couple thoughts. I was thinking back about what I wanted to say, and I remember, for 5+ years, I worked at Tudor Investments, actually alongside my colleague and buddy, Dr. Brett Steenbarger. And I remember very well my first meeting with the wonderful and talented and iconic investor, Paul Tudor Jones. And Paul asked me when I first met with him, because he knew I work with not only high-level traders, but also high-level athletes and professional athletes. And he asked me that first meeting, beyond their passion, both traders and athletes, he said, what are some of the similar psychological characteristics that I saw in working with high-level traders and professional athletes that really separated themselves from the next tier? And I really love that question. And I thought kind of my comments to him at that time might be useful to share with the community here, because the same characteristics, I think, are essential for people to be successful and develop and grow as traders. And the first two are things that a lot of us have talked about in here. Mike, Carlos, the whole team. And that is perseverance is a mammoth characteristic, very important. That is kind of an identifying foundational characteristic that you see in top level performers, an ability to persevere under difficult conditions and obstacles. And along with that is a similar one, which is resilience, facing obstacles, getting back up on the horse, having losing trades, having losing games, and really coming back from that. But the third thing that I think that I mentioned to Paul Tudor Jones that day, which I have found to be hugely important, and it's something that I've tried to work on regularly myself, is the ability to really admit and acknowledge mistakes and errors when they happen, not fight those off, not to kind of demonize yourself, but really embracing the change process. And making the necessary corrections and changes when things go wrong. It is very hard for all of us to admit our errors, our mistakes. But to me, the best traders and the best athletes are the ones who are able to acknowledge where they have fallen short and not really have viewed that as kind of an indictment of themselves, but kind of just part of the human condition and the process of learning to do something like trading, which is enormously difficult and challenging. And so, this is a never-ending goal and journey. And I think not only perseverance and resilience, but if people out in the community can constantly try to have this kind of growth mindset, a willingness to kind of understand, accept, acknowledge our own frailties, our own kind of shortcomings, and view those as signs and just challenges of getting better. I think when we are able to acknowledge that in ourselves, actually it helps us in other areas, because I think when we're more accepting of our own shortcomings and frailties, and we are more accepting of others around us who we may love and care about, but have hard times with when they behave in ways that we don't like. So to me, these three things are the three things that I would like to leave people with, that if you can persevere and be resilient and kind of acknowledge and embrace and open your arms to your own mistakes as a way of growing, like that to me gives you the best opportunity. It's no guarantee to kind of progress in your trading world. So that's kind of what I would like to leave you with. As a final note, my final appearance with the BBT community, as Norm said, will be this Wednesday, where Andrew has been gracious enough to join me on the town hall. I really think this is going to be an interesting and fascinating discussion. I know many of you know Andrew's backstory quite well. But I have some questions and some areas to get into with Andrew that perhaps will provide a level of insight and an awareness that he can display and discuss that might be kind of enormously helpful for the BBT community, as so many of you, rightly so, admire not only his trading acumen, but his story, his journey, and how he lives his life. So I'm going to try to tap into some of those stories and items and the emotional, psychological aspects of Andrew that perhaps people have not heard or seen, or he has not talked about much. So I greatly encourage everybody to kind of join us on Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern, because I'm really looking forward to that discussion with Andrew. And again, to Norm and you, Carlos, I can't thank you enough for how helpful you have been with this process. again, a bittersweet departure and goodbye, but I'm sure we will stay in touch. And I appreciate everything you guys have done for me in helping me work with you guys every Monday morning.
Well, and it's much appreciated, Dr. Katz. I know that when you sign in, you don't see all the comments in the room, but they're streaming through all the appreciation from members, both in the room, how much they'll miss you, how much, and same thing on YouTube. We get a number of comments over there each week, but especially this morning, they're streaming through in the room. So it's been a lot of fun with you. We've done this for quite some time, and you'll be missed for sure. But I hope you don't disappear. Don't be a stranger. Stay in touch. And you know, we're in Texas and Austin every once in a while. Maybe we can catch up and grab a bite sometime. So thank you for all you've done for us, Dr. Katz, and take care of yourself.
Thanks very much, Norm. Be well.
You too. All right, guys. So, and I'm going to make this announcement. Carlos, I think you're on mute.
Yep.
You can join me. Yeah, we're all sorry to see Dr. Katz go. He's been very helpful, been a great segment. He's done a number of great webinars for us and everything else. That having been said, we're going to take a week off from the psychology stuff in the pre-market show. So nothing next week, but the following week, starting, I believe it's October 4th, we're going to be coming at you twice a week with Kreda, who is another member. She is a performance coach and a life coach. She works with professional athletes and trading firms and everything else. So we're going to have Mindful Monday with Kreda on Monday morning to take the place of this segment. And we're also working on a separate segment. She's going to be on Wednesday mornings as well. So you're not going to miss this element. We'll take a week off, then we'll get with her. Carlos and I met with her last week, discuss some of it. I think we'll be in good hands, guys.
Yep, absolutely, guys. Looking forward to all of that, and also to Wednesday's webinar as well. So looking forward to that from Dr. Katz and Andrew. All right, guys, let's get into it. See what we have here. Starting with our main list, we have SDC is the only ticker green this morning. We got another one popping up here. VRPX just started to get going here. Got some volume running through it right now. Float on this one is 2.1. We'll add in our low flow pile here. We'll come back to it. It's just starting to get some action. So let's give it a little bit of time for it to develop there. Going back to the top, we have SDC here. Again, typically I'm not a big fan of this, so we'll have to see how it trades. It's the only one in the green, and not by much. It's giving a lot back already compared to where it was sitting this morning. Here is HUD. HUD is down 10%. I like that they're losing this area of support here over on $9. That could be interesting. We'll see if that can create any kind of movement. Bitcoin is definitely down today as well. 10% here on Mara. That's the one I'm looking at. You can look at Riot, and some other ones are also on the gap down list this morning. AMC is getting a little bit of a bounce. This one's going to get the volume, right? We know that for sure. Especially on a day like today. So I like to have this one on here. PLTR, it's got some good volume. One of the better pre-market activities this morning. They're down 5.4 in great volume. I like the action we're getting in the pre-market. I'll keep that one. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 right now, unless I see something that looks slightly better. LSID, this was wild on Friday. Today they're down 5% as well. So good volume also. So I like to see on a day like today, you want to see great volume, 2 million, 1.5 million shares being traded already. The only two that don't have that on our list is Mara, although they have a great pre-market action. I want to keep an eye on that sector, and HUD. HUD might be one that we get rid of. I am going to move Apple up. I think a day like today, you do have to have Apple on your list, or tickers like this one, AMD, one of these tech companies. I'm going to remove it from our secondary list. We'll do that there, and we'll get rid I'm going to get rid of SDC. I think this is a possible at best. I don't think it belongs in our main list here. And HUD is another weaker one that we might end up taking off. You know what? Tesla actually looks slightly better than HUD right now. So I think I am going to move Tesla. mRNA starting to do some good moves here as well, right? If we can lose this area of support that we have here, that can become even more interesting. On our secondary list, BTU, I'm going to get rid of this, guys. I don't see anything happening here. Still not doing anything great. Let's get rid of that ticker there. NEO is on deck, 1.3. That's a good one. And I have Bank of America just to keep an eye on the banks there. I believe, guys, that we can take out... Let's see here. Maybe HUT. Yeah, I'm going to put HUT as a possible. I think that it's a better place for that. I don't think it needs to be completely off our list, but clearly Tesla is looking a lot better this morning, as you can see there with the pre-market action. So we'll get rid of HUT from our main list. We'll bring up Tesla, and we'll get rid of this one from our secondary list, a little bit tighter now. And I think now we got a good main list here. Tesla, Apple, great volume on all of these. LSID, PLTR also doing some good stuff there. AMC getting a little bit of a bounce. That's good. And we have Mara. So I think that's a better list than what we had before. All right, let's get some levels in this morning, guys. Let's start here with Mara. As you can see, nice drop. I like when the stocks start losing some levels here. This one is losing this 38, not 38, 35, right? Losing this level of 35, we saw clearly some support at the end of August all through September. That has been an area where this thing did not want to stay below or under, and it has cracked today. So low of the pre-market right now, 31.82, the high of the pre-market all the way up at 34.75. Two levels there, and below that, if we were to lose this low of the pre-market, great area of support happening at 30.23. You can see a nice little bounce there over the last 3 days, or this stretch of 3 days. Was prior support lightly here. I'm not gonna go too far back, but you can see here this level has played an important role in this stock. So we'll definitely have 30, 20, 23 there. Towards the top, guys, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. In the case we're going to flush down here and things are going to go even further, 2780-ish is a good area as well. Look at the consolidation happening here until we finally had a breakout. So 2780-ish, just in case things really start to dump quickly here. AMC, guys, I like this one. We had a lot of fun with this last week and the week before. I mean, it's given some really good movement. It gets great volume, right? So you can really take advantage of that. We have our high of our pre-market over at 43, right? So we can throw a level there. But this one is, I think, more important, or at least as important as 42.13, right? In the pre-market, this is where the action has been getting slammed in, right? So you can see that there over and over again. So that 42.13, you want to have that level here. Again, high of the pre-market, you can mark it if you want. If you have automatic marking of your highs and lows, that would be there for you already. But yeah, 42.13 is where it's at right there. Great action. 40.54, great area of support right now happening in the pre-market. 40.51, that's your pre-market low. And then if we were to lose that, 39.63, another area there. And just let's get lower, because we've been kind of on the small little downtrend, right? We consolidated, we had a couple of breakouts, and now we're kind of just on the downhill here, losing this great area of support today. The previous day close line, that's around 44.12 or so, and now we see some more opportunities towards the downside here if we're going to continue this run. PLTR, guys, great volume. This stock tends to be on a little choppier side. Towards the top, you have your highs and lows doing an amazing job here, covering the high of the pre-market this morning and taking care of you all the way to 29.50-ish or so. So do not need to add anything on there. If you want to get fancy, you can see this stretch here. That's a big pump, right? 27, 22, 28. If you want to get something in here, you can go into this intraday trade for Thursday right in here and pick out some levels where you kind of saw some support and resistance happening. I'm not going to do that, but you can definitely do that. If we were to lose this level of 27, the low of the pre-market, 27.01 to be exact, couple of levels happening here. I like this one, area of support and resistance on both ends. You got resistance happening here, which is nice, and then it becomes support later down the line as we break out of that. Below that, we also do have 25. Again, that's a big move, guys. We had a big move on Thursday towards the upside. This will be a big move for us to get into those numbers. But if the market provides a little bit of incentive to do that, it can easily do that on a PLTR, a stock that can move quite a bit. So that looks good there. LSID this morning, they were interesting on Friday. This morning, they're kind of stuck between the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days, right in the middle of their gap up that they had, right? So kind of right in here, they have several green days, and now it's just kind of stuck in here, down 5% this morning. Pre-market action looks interesting. 1.7 million shares traded. As far as levels, I think you're pretty much covered here, guys. I don't see where you can add anything else. Your price action at 21.81, and you're covered all the way to 23.50 and all the way down to 20.50. So you got a nice little range here of highs and lows from the last 2 trading days, which also coincide with some of the stuff that's happening on the daily as well. So I'm going to leave that as is. I'm not going to touch it. Heading on down to Apple, guys, low of the pre-market here. This is interesting. I like Apple's daily, look how quiet it has. Well, not quiet, but look how smaller the candles have been during this consolidation. And then starting around mid-August, early September, you start getting these bigger candles, these bigger moves on Apple, and now we're slamming down below this great area of support that we had in the past, right here around 146. I think this can be rather interesting this morning. The low of the pre-market sitting at 142.96. We'll slam a level there, and if we were to lose that, we got a slight level here at 141. Around 141, 72, excuse me. And then all the way down here at 139.96. Again, that's a big run for Apple. It's already down 1.7. We'll have to keep a close eye on that one. High of the pre-market sitting at 145, basically 144.96. We can throw a level on there as well. And then above that, guys, tons of stuff happening here. Apple, hitting as high as 157. I think that's their all-time highs, right? 157. We hit that 2 weeks ago. And now we're kind of not crashing down, but we're kind of giving some back this morning as we head lower here today on Apple. Here is Tesla today. Tesla right now, low of the pre-market sitting over at 730. Towards the top, guys, plenty of levels, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. Below this, we do have this crazy spike all the way down to 709. But in between here, you do have some area of resistance on this daily. See the levels just slamming into that 719. Definitely want to have that on there. And then we have our 709 right after that. All right, guys, I think we got a pretty okay list, decent, right? There's volume all over the place. So volume is not the thing that sets these stocks apart. I mean, when the SPY is moving the way it is, you're going to get volume everywhere. You're going to get a lot of stuff in the red this morning. We're just looking for some good pre-market action stuff that has traded well in the past that can now continue to do that if the market decides to continue to trend heavily in one direction. All right, let's bring over our moderators watch list. As we do this, guys, over on YouTube, make sure you hit that thumbs up. It helps us out a ton. You'd be surprised how much that does for us here as we grow our YouTube channel and presence. We appreciate that very, very much. We're sitting, what's the likes right now? I don't have them up. But hopefully we're getting close to that 300 number. That's what we'd like to see. And when we get to 400, we're dancing here.
Stop saying that, dude.
I knew it.
Don't ever say that quote again.
We're dancing here. All right, let's bring in our moderators list here, guys. What do we have? All right, no IPOs for today, no SPACs, as Peter reports. Amen, tough day. It looks a sell-up type day. And I agree. Me and Nora spoke about this earlier. These days are a little bit
We're coming back
difficult, so we'll see. Potential longs, PLTR, CCL, AR, you ready in CCL? Nice. ARNT and maybe mRNA. Potential shorts, ride ACB for Eamon. Tiffany's looking at Apple, Tesla, PLTR, and Mara. Thor is looking at SPY, Apple, NEO, PLTR. Secondary is IWM and AMC. Dima has Apple, X, SoFi, AMD. There's Jared coming in. He's not coming in, but that's just the chat room does that sometimes. Oh, there's Andrew. Andrew's on the chat. We'll put him over here for now. All right, move him over there for now. Peter, AMD, Apple, mRNA. Secondary is Lee, Tesla, and SDC. Jared is looking at PLTR, Space, Plug, and a SPY and QQs. Brian coming in with his list, Apple, PLTR, Plug, LCID, and VRPX there for Brian this morning. So excellent. Thank you, Nathan, so much for the super chat. Appreciate you. Curious if Thor had a chance to see the email I sent him. Thor.
That's one way to get your email checked.
Nathan just donated $5 for you to check his email. Please do that.
And it is Thor beat me to it, but it's a special day. Andrew, happy birthday, brother.
Happy birthday,
you so
Andrew.
Much. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
I was wondering if we were going to see you this morning or if you went out and partied last night.
No, I'm here to lose my money. That's for sure. That's a birthday gift from the market.
Nice.
Thank you so much.
I hope you have a wonderful birthday, man.
I appreciate that. Yeah, no, I had some friends and family surprise me yesterday at my place, which I don't know how they get access to my units, which begs the question about the security of my building because nobody had any key. But anyways, regardless, so the market is gapping down. We saw Dr. Katz. Thank you so much, guys, for all the messages and emails and everything. I appreciate that. And let's find the watch list. So the market is gapping down. So I shared my screen, guys. you should be able to see. YouTube guys, thank you so much. Appreciate that. So the market is gapping down. Apple is definitely something interesting to watch because, as Noor mentioned, sometimes the volatility, makes it very difficult to trade. But Apple or AMD could be a good things to trade. How are you, Brian?
I'm good. I'm looking at AMC is popping up here.
Yeah, I
buddy.
definitely look at the AMC.
Yeah, it's looking interesting.
PLTR.
Apple's getting into an area that's kind of interesting too. As I mentioned earlier, that 142.50 level, we almost got there this morning.
Brian, I think your webcam camera is gaining because I think the quality. Did you get a new webcam?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
I
it
think
too-
I think you're using. Yeah, I think you have to change it to the laptop because it's a little bit echoey.
It's echoey?
Yeah, the quality of your sound is a little bit lower because I know what happens. Usually, when you put a webcam, the computer would get the webcam microphone. Anyways, but that's not that bad. We can discuss that later. PLTR is gapping down. AMC. I still have TNA, yeah, and it's not great. Tesla is down 3%. TQQ buying the deep, definitely can buy the deep, but I ran out of the buying power. What should I buy with? AMC is doing some stuff. Oh, thanks, Nathan. $10 for the birthday. I appreciate that.
Yes.
I think I'm gonna watch Apple, AMD, AMC, Tesla.
Yeah, it's interesting. Okay.
My watch is gonna be Jared, Tech, Space, Plug, and then the volatility stuff. So I'm gonna watch AMC, Apple, Tesla, and AMD for now. VRPX is a lower price stock. I'm not gonna touch it. EDSA is actually not bad either. Is there news on EDSA? That's a very nice dip. COVID thing. Oh yeah, great. Thank you. All right. So we're gonna go. I think AMC has a potential for opening range break up. It's gap down, but now recovered the VWAP, so that's interesting. Apple definitely. Everything is kind of recovering right now. Nothing is gapping up. CRVS is the scanner. Take a look at it. Garbage. I hate this garbage. It sucks. IWM is down 2%. What is this gap down? What is this gap down for, Brian? Is it for the Fed's meeting this morning? This week?
It's just a bunch of things going on here. There's concern about this Everguard or whatever in China going bankrupt, and I think it's just a bunch of things.
I know.
There's concerns about the Fed tapering this week, what they're going to say.
But if they wanted to do something with this gap down, everyone is panicking. Oh, damn, we can't touch anything.
Yeah. Edessa seems interesting. Edessa.
EDSA, I'm going to watch EDSA too. EDSA for a break toward 10. That could be a good trade. I'm still holding all of my stuff that I have, TNA. I didn't know that TNA. I got an email from Interactive Brokers that TNA is giving dividends. I didn't know that these
Yeah.
garbage companies are actually paying dividends.
Could be interesting as well. Lots of volume on Zivo.
Zibo.
I changed my microphone over to my headset again. So I don't know if that's any better.
No, it's not. Maybe you. Let me see. Maybe you need to refresh both vMix and thing because vMix might get it from still.
Okay.
We completely disable the microphone from webcam. There's an option that you completely disable it, and then the only thing that is left is your webcam.
Okay.
But don't worry about it. It's 5 minutes to the open. I can do it all. I'm just messing around with Brian. There's nothing wrong with his microphone. No, it's. I hear it a little bit iffy, but. Yeah, well, don't tell him because I kind of messed with him 5 minutes to the open. But so I think I'm gonna, now that everything is coming above the VWAP, and yeah, it might be me actually, hopefully. So I was thinking opening range breakdown, but now that everything is recovering, opening range breakup is an opportunity. That's for sure. TNA is down. Maybe it's popping back up. AMN is mRNA. AMD, PLTR. Bitcoin is down 4%, 43,000. Zivo. EDSA is also interesting. I'm looking at it for a potential buy around 9 for the next pop. So we'll look into that. Apple, Tesla. Everything that is now above the VWAP has the potential for opening range breakout. I was thinking of weakness for the market, but now that everything is above the VWAP, like Apple, potential opening range breakout, especially IWM just gained 1%. IWM just 1%. AMC, definitely looking at AMC for a potential long opening range breakup because it did recover. Oh, Brian, now you sound much better.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Sorry.
That's okay. We got it fixed. Okay. What else?
Brian is a tech genius.
Got it figured out.
So, Brian, what do you think? Market is going to stay strong? Because now it seems that recovering a little bit, or?
Yeah, it's recovering a little bit. I kind of think there's going to be a bit of a sell-off at the open. Some of the nervous Nellies are going to be dumping their stocks. But I think just keep an eye on out for some buying right after that.
EDSA is interesting. It's one of the few stocks that has already gapped up. Potentially looking at EDSA. PLTR. Airlines are doing some stuff. American Airline, United Airline. Oh yeah. Bitcoin sold off. The Canadian dollar is not doing great. US dollar is getting strong. That's good. Brian, the new webcam looks great. You have no idea
Yeah.
how handsome you are.
I just got to get my light set up here because I'm just lit off all my monitors.
Yeah,
Getting a
I
suntan.
think it's a bit bright on you, so because you look like
It's
a
all the
very yeah.
It's all the monitors. Okay, guys, let's keep it green. Let's not jump into anything too fast here. Looks intense. It is intense. Okay, Apple's kind of interesting. Yeah, the Bitcoin took a 10% drop today too. It's cursed. Exactly. AMC still looks strong.
I'm wondering if I can get the opening range break up on AMC. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, it's just just gonna move some stuff around here. Like Odessa. I watched Odessa for a drop at the open. What's a float on Odessa? Anybody know? $9 million. Okay. Oh, there goes AMC. AMC is still popping and dropping.
All right, so 5 seconds.
Here we go.
I'm gonna wait 2
PLTR
minutes.
popping up.
Oh yeah.
Here we go, guys.
Some deep into the Apple. Oh, Apple might be a good buying opportunity here. See. Oh. Apple's the deep on Apple.
Yeah.
BYSI is also not interesting.
Yeah. Just give it a moment. Give it some time.
Yeah, I think Apple is a buy, to be honest with you. I think it's going to pop up. Read it. The deep got bought.
Yeah. Just got long some Odessa at 940.
Very nice. Let's see what the 1 minute candlesticks close on Apple turn out to be. I'm taking a long on Apple 143.70, small size, because EDSA popped up.
Here we go. Yeah, oh my God.
Long on Apple at 143.80.
It's going through 10. We're going to get 10.
See if Apple can go to 144. If not, yeah, ADCA is going to go through 10, that's for sure.
It's going to sell, just selling some here, 991.
I'm long Apple, guys. Selling some at 144.10.
Ooh, that was a big drop. Back on my break even.
Anyone Apple? AMC is running up too. Anyone in Apple? I really like that doji on Apple in the first minute. It means that everyone was buying it down there.
Yeah.
Very nice though. Very nice. Yeah, I'm still in there heavy. Yeah, EDSA is garbage.
Yeah. I'm out of the rest of it.
TNA is popping higher, so I'm buying some TNA here just for fun.
Wow, Lucid really popped up. AMC popped up hard as well.
I really love the fact that just everything was bought on Apple. That's why my first entry was a little bit before getting into 1 minute opening range breakout, because that doji was very interesting. So I'm selling some more at 144.80. Very nice guys on Apple, all of you.
Yeah. Yeah, I took some Apple long too, a little bit later than you did, fortunately, but
Let's see if you can go to 145. So Apple recovered.
SPY's picking it up here.
Once again, we realized that the stocks only go up. I'm still as Apple 2, although it's in S3, but I'm holding a little bit to see if you can get something. Oh, TNA is ripping. That's good.
Yeah. What did I tell you? I told you there'd be a little bit of a drop at the open, and then the buying brigade would come in right away. Nice trade, Thor.
I did the same trade. How come you're saying nice trade, Thor, and you're not saying anything to me, Brian?
Oh, he posted it.
Oh. Okay, no. So
I
let's see
knew
what
it.
Apple is doing.
I did know it, Peter. I knew it.
I'm
And
adding a
Andrew had
limit
it.
on Apple here on this mic pullback.
Everybody had a good Apple trade.
I'm getting I added a little bit more. Oh yeah, the entry for Thor was really nice. I was going to go long, but I kind of wanted to stick to my rule of 1 minute wait. So I added a little bit of Apple at 144.30. See if you can test another S4. Let's see, test this for one more time. On, and you can do it. Yeah, EDSA turned out to be not great.
Yeah, not great at all. Wow, Lucid really tanked there. Holy cow. Huge red candle on Lucid. JD's dropping. It's a bit of a...
Nice, Eddie. Nice. Very nice trading day. Very nice trading day for me. I think, see if we can get Apple to 145. That would be nice. Possibly not, but that would be nice. AMC turned out to be doing nothing. So I think I'm kind of going to the handcuff mode. See what Apple is doing. My average on Apple is 143.98. So it's pretty much at VWAP. I might get stopped out. So I'll see what the market is doing. It might recover a little bit. Nobody exactly knows, but
Yeah, Apple's losing it again here.
see what it does at the app at the VWAP.
Oh yeah, look at
I'm adding a little bit more here.
Zevo
I'm adding a
go.
little bit more here. I bet you Zevo. Oh yeah, Zevo is in play. 100% Zevo now. Zevo now, 750. Ah, damn. Beauty, beauty. Very beautiful.
Yeah, it's going to go here. It's got good volume too.
Oh yeah, order flow is very nice, very beautiful.
Yeah.
See what Apple. Hopefully, Apple doesn't stop me out. I'm in there with the average of 144. Yeah, this is slow. I mean, this is not a drop, but a small pullback. Probably I'm gonna stop me out. This is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna stop out, and then Apple's gonna go back up. Like always, market is doing that. But holding it now, looks like everything is holding the VWAP. Tesla is doing the VWAP. AMC might go back up. AMD is also holding around 102. See if 44.68. Come on, Apple, you can do it. Selling some more here.
Playing some Zevo here. Got a some on that pullback. Got out. SPY is still trying to decide which direction to go. AMC is going to pop up.
Potential, yeah. Yeah.
Apple's going to.
Potential, yeah.
Yeah. Got a S3 at 144.78.
Yeah.
That's exactly that's where it rejected before. And then you got 145.10 as S2. AstraZeneca's popping up here.
I think I'm going to stop trading, guys. I made a really good profit on Apple. So see if you can get to 145. If not, I'm probably getting stopped out at 144. My average is exactly at 144. I don't see anything AMC potential, but again, I'm not desperate to take any sub-pack trades. I had a really nice classic 1 minute opening range breakup, and I think I'm going to live by example of not over trading and putting the handcuffs on. Last week, I closed red again just because I messed around too much.
I'm long AstraZeneca. I'm allowing AstraZeneca for a move through 59.
What's the ticker for
57? AZN.
Yeah.
Through a move through 57.
Oh, yeah.
AstraZeneca had news about a breast cancer drug, I think.
Very nice. Still holding Apple. Let's see if you can get to 145. You may not. It looks a little bit toppy. See what the whole market is doing.
The SPY's popping up here.
What about TQQ? What's the TQQ doing? What? I could trade TQQ. Damn it.
Lucid looks like it wants to keep going, maybe.
What's mRNA doing? Ayman is trading mRNA. Let's see what mRNA is doing. I don't know what he did. Thor is trading UVXY. Oh, I like that. Thor is now on the ETF, leveraged ETFs. I like that.
Plugs breaking out. AMC is breaking out.
Yeah, AMC did pop up. Nice, Thor, nice. That's the way to do it.
That's
So
the way.
Apple,
Uh-huh.
don't know what Apple is gonna do, but definitely we can have QQQ. I don't know. Apple might probably stop me out at 144. It looks like really top here on the top. Zivo went to 8, not yet, huh? Yeah, Zivo was really
Yeah.
nice. These
Yeah, I
lower
got
prices stocks is, I'm not really keen trading them.
my AstraZeneca fill through 57.
Nice. The vaccine or the order? You got filled.
I got both. Stupid.
I know.
I like
AMC is
that.
gonna go through S3.
Yeah, AMC. I told you AMC was strong and looked less strong in the open.
Yeah, if I was not in Apple, I would have definitely gone to AMC. PLTR also squeezed up.
Yeah, Lucid is still going here. Here we go with AstraZeneca. I'm still
Wow.
holding some.
Simon close 17R. Oof. Wow, nice. Very nice.
SDC was it was one of the few green things on the screen. TLT dropping means yields are going up. JD's popping up here, breaking out.
Yeah. I know, Thor. We should retire.
Yeah, PLTR
like-
looks like it's on the verge of breaking out here. Look at Lucid go.
Yeah, I'm still hoping Apple can go through 145. Definitely on a 5-minute chart is still making higher high and higher low. So that's where looking at 5-minute candlesticks are good because it shows that the uptrend is still there, but definitely is getting toppy. S3 is fighting here. So my average is at 144. I'm holding to see if we can get a breakout above S4. So holding that. TQQs bouncing. But definitely looks toppy. So. That was a pretty good day. I mean, one good trade for me. And if Apple goes to 145, then it's going to be a really nice day. I mean, the regret is AMC. I wish I was in AMC. It was a really nice 5-minute green range breakup. Most likely, I'm going to get a stop down on Apple.
Yeah, Apple's kind of
Nice
stalled here.
AMC. Yeah, nice AMC. Yeah, nice, definitely AMC. So now there's a minor pullback coming in, apparently.
Yeah, Apple keeps holding the VWAP. It looks like it might actually fail here.
Apple. Apple most likely is going to drop through the VWAP, so I'm getting out a little bit more here.
Yeah. I was looking at selling some 145 calls against my position. So I think this 143 level looks pretty solid.
Airlines don't get much volume here. I think it was a no, don't drop Apple. No. I'm getting out of completely. I'm all out of Apple. It's just stopped me out at the break-even point, and I don't care what's going to happen in it. I'm not betting on selling off too much on it. It might bounce back. Sometimes they come down, test these moving averages below the VWAP, but I'm just all out on it. Yeah, no, I'm pretty good with it. I made $3,000 on it, and I think that's a pretty good, solid day for me. Plus, I'm back holding TNA, so just a solid day for me. $3,000 a day is $1 million a year, so no need to be aggressive.
No need to go crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah, nice trade on Apple. There were a number of stocks that dipped at the open that you could have just snapped up.
Zivo, what's Zivo doing? It's going to create, huh? Yeah, it's very. I like the order flow on Zivo. It's really, really nice. Compare it with the garbage like EDSA, although EDSA seems that lost the momentum, but yeah. Or, the order flow is nice here. But it's just the reason that I didn't touch it. I know Brian jumped in on it, but it's just, these low price stocks, I'm really bad at them. And it's a different crowd that they're trading them. So I rather to stick to what I'm good at, even though if they're not that as volatile as these ones. Okay, let's see what Apple's doing. I'll be back in a second, guys, Brian.
Yep. Yeah. AMC's right at the VWAP, PLTR, same thing. SPY's at the VWAP. Why is the world ending? CRVS? It's a good question. I think that markets have been rolling over a little bit anyway. We had a down week last week on most of the indexes, SPY, Dow, and Qs. I think there's some concern about the taper. The taper talk that's going to be coming here in a couple days, the Fed meeting, and then you've got this overhanging Evergrande issue that I think is sort of weighing on the markets as well here. And I think it's kind of just giving, there is definitely some third-party risk here with Evergrande because they borrowed a lot of money from. I think there was even a few U.S. companies like BlackRock. They owe BlackRock money. Goldman. And I saw BlackRock as being one of the bigger holders of some debt. Trying to remember. UBS, I think, is another one. Yeah. What was it? 100 billion? That's a lot. So anyway, I mean, I guess the ramifications that And of course, you got September, which is typically a weak month. You've already had the markets kind of rolling over a little bit, and then you get this Evergrande thing, and it's just giving people sort of an excuse to sell. And again, you have to remember the market hasn't had really hasn't had a significant pullback since February. So there's it's not. This isn't really. This is. Some would argue this is actually healthy. Yeah, you can't just keep going straight up. So we are getting a correction in September. September typically not a great month in the market. So, Lucid still looks pretty strong here. It looks like it's just maybe doing an ABCD pattern. Might continue to break out here. The next stop for Lucid, it could actually go to yesterday or Friday's high, which is around 2290-ish. I think Lucid's going here.
Sorry, guys, I'm back. What do we have?
Lucid looking pretty interesting.
Apple's coming back down.
Yeah.
Lucid, what was the ticker for it? LCID, huh?
Yeah. Watch this. It'll do a bit of a pullback here. Didn't Lucid beat Tesla in a race, didn't they? Like acceleration?
I don't know. Is it a car company?
Oh no.
Lucid, to be honest with you?
Yeah, Lucid. Or no, they had much better mileage. They had much better, longer battery. That's what it was. They got over 500 kilometers on a charge.
Nice.
That's what it is. Thanks, guys.
IWM recovered. That was a big panic setup, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, Apple is definitely going down for the low of the day.
Yeah, it's really leaking off here.
Yeah, SQQ, Boris, SQQ is the short of TQQ Qs, so going down. You can buy TQQ. That's for sure. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that I'm so excited about. And I'm probably not going to trade anything.
I just bought some Lucid here at 2260.
Some sort of a mini 920 trade.
Yeah, just a bit of it. Well, it's basically a 9, basically a bounce off the 9. Oh yes, I'm gonna sell some here at 2277. Yeah, just a bounce off the 9 moving average there. Now I'm looking for 2290 on Lucid. Yeah, right off the 9 moving average. Here we go. Just sold some more at 22.89.
Brian,
Did hit.
long term. Oh yeah, it's gonna go green for
Yeah.
today probably.
I think so, yeah. Still got half my size here. Come on. Ah, yeah, here we go. Here we go. Going with green. We're going to go green. Come on.
Very
That's
nice. It
it.
is green now.
All right, yeah.
Very beautiful. Nice trade.
Yeah. I'm going to try to see if we can get over. There's a big ask at 23. Orders in at 23.02. Ah, come on. Here we go, filled. Oh, yes.
Wow.
Nice one.
What a trade. What a trade John did on Apple. AMD, Peter did AMD, obviously. Obviously, Peter did trade AMD today.
Mm-hmm. Anyone
Still
else
an
in
AMD.
this lucid trade with me? You guys in this lucid trade? Nice. Here we go. Nice, guys. Right off the 9 moving average. Textbook.
Thor, can you share your Apple trades like you did before? But a little bit more zoom in, not including the pre-market, because I want to maybe add it into my recap. That would be awesome.
Oh, it's too bad. Let's sell some more here, 23.08.
Nice. Oh yeah, beauty. Thanks, Thor. That's exactly what I was hoping to get.
Yeah, plug's interesting, eh? Peter's AMD trade.
Peter. Oh yeah, nice,
Oh,
beauty.
nice. Yeah. Oh, look at
Very
that.
nice, Peter.
Look. Peter, you should put that in for trade of the day.
Peter. And he's AMD.
Yeah. Be sure to journal that trade, Peter. Yeah, there goes plug too. Plug's breaking out.
Jared had plug on
Yeah.
his watch. Definitely in the range. Andre, what did you do, Andre? Very nice on Apple. Very nice. Very nice, Jared. Yeah, Apple did the bounce from 143.30. It's a limit.
SPY is kind of selling off here. 2350 is the maybe the next level on Lucid here. Dollar strong today, US dollar strong.
It's very strong. Look at the
Yeah.
Canadian dollar USD CAD is 1.28. Pretty much the exchange rate pays all of my taxes. Haha. It's awesome. It's really good to have a bad currency because everything
Yeah.
is so cheap for you.
A weak
Just Canadian.
currency.
I hope it's gonna go to 1.5. It's like garbage. Generally, having a weak currency is a good thing, especially if you're an exporter.
Yeah, if you're not so great if you're an importer, though.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's
Like Japan,
another.
as one of the issues that Japan has is that they want to keep the currency weak, but they can't because then their exports become more expensive. Yeah, so that's the best part, making money in USD and spending it in a different currency. That's what essentially me and Brian are doing. So that's a really the best of two worlds. AstraZeneca, what did AstraZeneca did? 57.40. That was a nice catch.
Yeah, it was a good, nice little trade. I caught that off the scanner.
So if you're in Canada, you can have a multi-currency account with IB, and you can keep it in Canadian dollar, and then your position would be in US dollar. And then if you hold interest overnight, they just charge you USD Canadian interest rate. But if you're day trading, you can just keep it as is. So you're not exposed to exchange currency. But if you keep overnight, they assume that you actually borrowed the interest US dollar from them, so they charge you interest, but they pay you on the Canadian dollar balance. So it turns out to be not a big huge difference. Like for me, like every month or something, I might lose $70 or something on the interest rate difference. Did I tell you that, Brian, that TNAs give you dividends? I'm gonna receive dividend by TNA. I didn't know that.
You're really excited about that, I can tell.
I know. I'm probably gonna get 1 cent. The 2,000 garbage companies, and the Facebook and the Amazon, they don't pay dividend, but these garbage IWM companies are paying dividend.
I guess, well, whatever. Which is surprising because I thought, typically TNA, the beta ETF would be mostly derivatives. Here we go. AMC is going to break through 43, maybe.
43, yeah, potential, yeah.
Apple's
Brian W, if you keep Canadian dollar, I have both in my account, both Canadian and US dollar. But whenever I have a position that is bigger than my US dollar, IB loans that value to me in US dollar, and then they charge me interest rate. So you can have a multiple currency. It's just IB is amazing. I love interactive brokers. It's just amazing. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Zevo isn't really a 920 trade. It kind of bounced off the VWAP there, because the 20 was there too at the VWAP, so it did kind of bounce off that as well.
Apple might go back for the middle of the day.
I like a little bit of a cleaner move on this. There goes AMC is trying to get to 43 again.
Huh? Yeah, I can see that.
Ding. All right, sold.
Apple might want to go for 143 for the break of low of the day, which is below the pre-market as well. Yeah,
still strong. Lucid stick got right up to Friday's high.
Yeah, I think it's gonna break the 143. Apple is definitely going to go test the low of the day,
Well, it's
that's
testing
for
it's
sure.
testing the pre-market low right now.
Which is exactly the low of the
What is that? Is that
142.
143?
Yeah, around that area.
142.96. Yeah.
Apparently, there is a big bid down there too, so getting ready for that.
Okay, I'm all out of Lucid there, just at this yesterday Friday's high. So
How come I don't see that 143.9? Where do you see that, Kai? Do you see that in your level 2, or it's in a book map, or what's that software they're using? Oh, book map. Oh, I should get that book map. I know. That's another software to watch. Yeah, AMC broke 43. It's gonna go to the 43.50. There's a moving average and 5-minute chart. Yeah, you can get Thinkorswim. There's no problem with Thinkorswim. It's just not as effective for active trading. It's just not as robust and powerful as DAS. But depending on your style of trading, if you want to buy it now and sell it in 5-10 minutes later, yeah, Thinkorswim should work. Like Ardi is going to come over, take some time for options trading, and he's just using TWS, just because that's a platform that works for that style of trading. And by the way, we're going to add Ardi on Tuesday and Thursdays for some options. He's, for like options for trading for a living type of thing. Yeah, Lee, I agree. As a scalper, thanks, Lee, for that. As a scalper, I really don't need much of a thing. My bread and butter is just time and sales and previous day close, and I'm really good at reading these momentums, and I really don't need to mess around with it. I 100% agree. Thanks for that. Let's see if Apple breaks on 143. Might be a good potential counter trend on Apple. See, I don't know if I want to mess around with it or not, but break of 143. Yeah, BT handcuffs at the same time. I think is a good potential buy at below 143 for a quick bounce.
yeah. Yeah, it could be.
There you go. So Apple's going to go for the low of the day. Oh, 43.06 is the low of the day. Is struggling.
So Lucid even looks like it's still strong here. Definitely struggling at Friday's high.
Let's see if Apple breaks the 143. I might buy a little bit Apple when it breaks down the 143. It's getting extended on a 5-minute chart as well. So we'll see. I guess it's fighting. Maybe too early for me. I'm waiting. I'm that coyote that is waiting. Let's see. It's going to go for the break of low of the day.
The coyote in Stanley Park.
Coyote in Stanley Park. I don't think they've caught them yet. They're still closing the park down early.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think it's going to break the 143 and then bounces back. And I'll try to catch that bounce. See.
Here goes PLTR. It's gonna challenge Friday's low.
28. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 28. Yeah. No, I didn't trade UVXY at all. Wasn't watching it. SPY is
Still holding. I'm getting ready for a buy. Let's see if Apple breaks 143.
Wow.
I think it's going to break it. It's just waiting for it.
Nice trade on UVXY.
Come on, Apple, break the 143. I don't want to be short now because it's really extended. The risk to reward isn't there. Most likely we're going to break 143, but you don't want to be short getting such a bad entry. So now as you see, the big orders are going there.
Yeah, all you can do is scalp it.
4,000. Yeah. The problem with the scalping is just the risk to reward is a little bit messed up.
It's not. It's terrible here.
See, now it broke it. See for the next wave down. Oh yeah, beauty. I'm just getting some long here. Although it has a little bit more room down here, small size. It has a little bit of drop left. I have 142.52 actually is a good level. Actually, I might see what it does. I might get out of it.
Yeah, I don't know. It could be setting up for a 920 trade. But the
Which one?
20's really lucid. It's really far from the 20 right now. It's the only problem with it, really. plug is still strong.
When they add a little bit more on Apple, see for a big bounce. I didn't take a big size anyways, I mean, generally. But I'm getting out of it. I'm all out of it. I think it's a little bit too early for me. Just yeah, I just got out of
142.50
it.
is
I know, that's what I
142.50 is
was,
probably going to be.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the level that I was thinking that maybe get back in there. Yeah, Fahid. See, this is the gambling thing, you know. You don't need to make that trade, but you do it.
Bit of a
See,
knife catch there.
I know, catching the knife, and these are the dangerous trades. But you know, I would do it on Apple, but I would definitely don't do it on a garbage company or something. So, because Brian always says that there's buyers coming in, but I think it's a little bit too early for it. 142.50 would be a good level for Apple because it is back in July low in this day. Yeah, 142.50 something. But it's definitely it's due for a bounce. Apple. 5-minute chart to really extend that. Might not be ready now, but I might catch another one on it. 42.60.
Looking at PLTR for a 920 trade.
Oh yeah, beauty.
Yeah, there. Oh, yeah. Look at that drop on Lucid. There's 20 moving average on Lucid right now. Friday's close as well.
Yeah, now I'm buying some Apple at 142.57.
And just I'll try buying a bit of Lucid here. 23.
So I bought some here. Let's see if we can get. What's the situation here? 42.70.
Yeah, that was a nice 920 trade off PLTR as well. See what Lucid does here.
LCID. So I'm long some Apple at 144 or 142.62. Stop loss would be 142.50-ish. See what this level back in July can adding a little bit more on it and see if we can.
I'm out of Lucid there. I didn't hold the 20, and it didn't hold the Friday's close. So I'm not going to risk holding on to it any longer. Didn't bounce. Really didn't like the time and sales either.
Damn it.
SPY is kind of rolling over here.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Oh, AstraZeneca is still going up.
Catching the falling knife. Still holding this Apple. I want to see if we can go a little bit. Hopefully we don't get to it 142. That would be great.
Well, 140 would be kind of another area where there'd be some support.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get out before it goes to 142. Just like testing these moving averages and stuff. So.
No, Odessa's, it's a reverse 920 if you can short it here. I don't even know if I have shares for short on Odessa. Oh yeah, it's got, seems like it got 4,000 shares.
Yeah, I guess. $42.51. Come on. Do a bounce. It's time for a bounce.
Yeah, what a short from Apple after it got to that S3 level.
Who did that? Who traded
Apple.
that? No, I know, but did anyone cut that?
I'm just saying it would have been a great short.
Ah, shit, it did pop up. I didn't get the feel on it.
They did. Nice, Jared. Beautiful.
So I'm long at 142.63. See, it was more like an adrenaline trade. See if you can do a quick bounce in. This 142.60.50 level was a level that I was expecting a bounce from it. Yeah, but it's just not a great risk to reward trade. See if you can get a new 5-minute high. That would be nice. If not. SPY is bouncing. TQQ is bouncing a little bit.
Yeah.
Apple. Let's see if you can get to the second moving average. Nice moving, getting out more. Oh yeah, beauty. $143 would be nice.
Wow, real big. Wow, what a bounce on PLTR and LCA ID. Holy cow.
Still holding some apples to pop up above 143.
Both of them just bounced.
Should have bought some TQQ.
Uber actually has gone green on the day. What do you know? It's the only thing that's green on the screen except for US dollar. UUP. Yeah, PLTR doing the PLTR thing. Well, both PLTR and Lucid just popped. PLTR is now rejecting, or Lucid's now rejecting off the 9, stuck between the 9 and the 20.
Did anyone cut a reversal in Apple with me?
Yeah, that was a nice catch. Right at 142.50.
Yeah.
What did I tell you?
Nice. You knew it.
I knew
Brian
it. I knew it. I knew it again.
Knew it. You're the
But I don't
prophet
like
of
it.
knowing.
Bravo. Knowing it all.
No,
Nice,
Jared,
guys.
you're right. I kind of got a good bounce on it, but I just didn't like the trade, to be honest. It wasn't really clear definition of my entry. Eventually, this 142.50 turned out to be that level, but it wasn't really an amazing it. See if you can get above 143. Brian knew it.
Yeah, 142. 142.50. That was an area on a daily chart.
Brian knew it.
Right on.
Okay, so bounce back to 143. Big ask at 143. Yeah, Apple might bounce back a little good. So I'm going to do a quick recap too. So YouTube guys, thank you so much, guys. By the way, Carlos, you can shut off the YouTube feed. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
That. If you can like or subscribe, at least for my birthday, like a little bit of that video. If not, thank you so much, guys, and you can cut it off. Brian, let's get back into chat room. Alrighty.